Have you ever pondered on who among us are most likely to survive in an adverse situation? It's a question that has fascinated scientists, survivalists, and curious minds alike. While the question may seem simple, the answer is far from it. Survival, as it turns out, is a complex interplay of various factors. It's not merely a question of physical strength or mental resilience, although these certainly play a part. The ultimate survival question is one that encompasses genetics, environment, and lifestyle. Let's start with genetics. You've probably heard the phrase survival of the fittest, a concept that originated from Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. It suggests that organisms best adapted to their environment are most likely to survive and pass on their genes. But what does fittest mean in the context of human survival? Is it about physical strength, intelligence, immunity, or something else entirely? These are questions that researchers have been trying to answer. Next, we have the environment. It's not hard to understand why someone living in the harsh conditions of the Sahara Desert might have a different survival rate than someone living in the temperate climate of Western Europe. Environment shapes us, influences our behaviors, and impacts our survival in ways we may not immediately recognize. Finally, there's lifestyle. This is a broad category that includes everything from diet and exercise to social connections and mental health. While lifestyle might seem less important than genetics or environment, research suggests it plays a significant role in survival. Together, these three factors, genetics, environment, and lifestyle, create a complex web that determines our survival rates. The fascinating part? These factors don't operate in isolation. They interact with each other in complex ways, making the question of survival even more intriguing. So, who among us are most likely to survive in an adverse situation? What role do race and ethnicity play in this? These are questions we'll explore in the upcoming segments. Stay tuned as we delve into the fascinating research on survival probabilities in different races. Genetics play a vital role in our survival, but how exactly do they influence it? Well, let's delve into the fascinating world of genetics. Picture genetics as a vast library of instructions that dictate every aspect of our being. From the color of our eyes to the way our bodies respond to cold, every detail is encoded in our DNA. Now think about survival. It's all about adapting to our environment, right? And the secret to this adaptation lies within our genes. This is where the concept of genetic adaptation comes into play. In simple terms, genetic adaptation is nature's way of ensuring that life can thrive in even the harshest of conditions. Over generations, species evolve, and the genetic code changes, giving them an edge in survival. So, how does this relate to different races and their survival chances? The answer lies in our past. Each race, due to its unique ancestral environments and challenges, carries certain genetic traits that help them survive under specific conditions. For instance, people of Tibetan descent have evolved to thrive in high altitudes thanks to a unique gene variant that helps them use oxygen more efficiently. On the other hand, those with roots in sub-Saharan Africa have a genetic adaptation that makes them more resistant to certain types of malaria. This genetic trait has been passed down from generations who lived in malaria-prone regions, and it provides a survival advantage in such areas. However, it's essential to understand that these genetic advantages are not universal. They are beneficial under specific circumstances and may not necessarily translate to overall survival skills. So, genetics can be a game changer in survival scenarios, but that's not the only factor. As we move forward, we'll explore other elements that come into play when it comes to survival, including environment and lifestyle choices. So stay tuned as we continue to unravel the secrets of survival. The environment around us shapes us in ways we can hardly imagine. It sculpts our physicality, our mental resilience, and our very ability to survive. Let's delve into how environmental factors and adaptation can impact survival, and how certain races have adapted to harsh conditions in their native regions, potentially aiding in survival. Consider the Inuit people of the Arctic. Their bodies have evolved over thousands of years to withstand extreme cold. They have shorter limbs and a stockier build to conserve heat, a nifty adaptation that could prove advantageous in a frigid survival scenario. On the other hand, we have the indigenous tribes of the Sahara Desert. They've adapted to survive in one of the harshest climates on Earth, with temperatures soaring to blistering highs. Their bodies have evolved to sweat less, thereby conserving water, a critical adaptation for survival in arid environments. In the high-altitude plateaus of Tibet, the native Tibetans have developed a unique adaptation. Their bodies have evolved to use oxygen more efficiently, a trait that would be indispensable in a scenario where oxygen levels are compromised. Moving on, let's look at the native tribes of the Amazon rainforest. These tribes have adapted to a life in dense, jungly terrains, developing keen navigation skills and an intimate knowledge of plant and animal life, which could be life-saving in a survival scenario in similar environments. But here's the catch. These adaptations are the result of thousands of years of evolution, finely tuned to specific environments. In a situation that's drastically different from their native habitat, these adaptations may not necessarily confer an advantage. So while genetics and environment play significant roles in survival, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Survival is a complex interplay of many factors, including physical traits, mental resilience, learned skills, and of course, a dash of luck. Adaptation to our environment is a crucial survival tool. But there's one more piece to this survival puzzle. Our lifestyle choices can often be the difference between life and death. We've all heard the old adage, "You are what you eat," right? Well, it may be more accurate than you think. A balanced diet filled with a variety of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains can provide our bodies with the essential nutrients they need to function optimally. This is particularly crucial in a survival scenario where physical strength and mental alertness are necessary. In some cultures, for instance, the staples of their diet are rich in antioxidants and other beneficial compounds. The Mediterranean diet, with its emphasis on olive oil, fish, whole grains, and fresh produce, is a prime example. This lifestyle choice could potentially enhance survival chances by boosting immunity and overall health. Now let's talk about physical activity. It's no secret that regular exercise can improve cardiovascular health, increase strength, and enhance mental resilience. Some ethnic groups, such as the Sherpas in Nepal, are known for their exceptional physical endurance, honed over generations of living in high-altitude, harsh environments. Their lifestyle, heavily centered around physical activity, potentially gives them a survival advantage. But it's not just about diet and exercise. Stress management plays a significant role too. High levels of chronic stress can lead to a host of health problems, including weakened immunity. Some cultures have long-standing traditions of mindfulness practices, like meditation or yoga, which can help manage stress effectively. The calming rituals of a Japanese tea ceremony, or the mindful movements of Tai Chi in Chinese culture, are great examples of this. Finally, let's not forget about the importance of community and social support, which have been shown to increase longevity and resilience. Many indigenous cultures place a strong emphasis on community bonds, which could potentially provide a psychological boost in survival situations. Lifestyle, genetics, and environment all play a part in our survival, but who has the upper hand? That's a question we'll continue to explore in our next segment. Stay tuned. After evaluating these factors, who among us has the highest chance of survival? A question that has piqued our curiosity, sparked debates, and inspired countless research studies. The answer, however, isn't as straightforward as we might hope. Survival, it turns out, isn't just about genetics or which race you belong to. It's a complicated dance choreographed by a trio of influences: genetics, environment, and lifestyle. From our exploration of the genetics of survival, we've learned that our DNA does play a significant role. It's the blueprint that determines how well our bodies can withstand harsh conditions, fight off diseases, and recover from injuries. But even with the most robust genetic makeup, survival isn't guaranteed. Enter the environment, our second player in the survival game. Our bodies are remarkably adaptable, capable of adjusting to a wide range of climates and conditions. From the icy tundra to the blistering desert, humans have found ways to survive and even thrive. Our ancestors have endured ice ages and heat waves, and their survival has shaped our genes. But again, environment alone doesn't decide our survival fate. The third player, lifestyle, often slips under the radar. Yet it's a potent force in determining who survives and who doesn't. Our daily habits, diet, exercise, and even our social connections can significantly influence our ability to withstand challenges and bounce back from adversities. So who are the most likely survivors? It's those who have a favorable combination of robust genetics, adaptability to their environment, and a healthy lifestyle. It's not a particular race or ethnicity. While it's intriguing to speculate, the reality is Survival is a complex game where the fittest, irrespective of their race, wins. It's about the interplay of our genes, our environment, and our lifestyle choices. So rather than focusing on which race might have the upper hand, perhaps we should concentrate on understanding these influences better and harnessing them to improve our odds in the game of survival. While it's intriguing to speculate, the reality is survival is a complex game where the fittest, irrespective of their race, wins.